Grace should never become an excuse to live carelessly. Obedience still matters. Correction still matters. The way we live still matters. But as I sat with this thought, a picture came to me. Life is like a two-way street. I am driving down the road with vehicles in front of me, vehicles behind me, and cars coming in the opposite direction. Every driver is on a journey. Every person has a destination. Every vehicle carries its own story, its own weight, its own condition, and its own pace. Some are moving carefully. Some are moving aggressively. Some drivers are experienced. Some are nervous. Some are distracted. Some are confident beyond their actual ability. Yet somehow all of us are sharing the same road. And because we share the same road, there must be laws, signs, lines, warnings, and boundaries. Not to destroy freedom, but to protect life. Not to control every movement, but to prevent unnecessary harm. We stop at red lights. We yield when necessary. We stay in our lane. We signal before we turn. We watch our speed. Not because every driver believes the same thing, but because safety requires shared obedience. Freedom on the road still requires discipline. But this is where I have to be honest. There are times I get frustrated with other drivers. I see someone speeding, cutting people off, drifting between lanes, or acting like the road belongs only to them. And I find myself saying, they should not be doing that. And maybe I am right. But then I have to ask myself another question. What am I doing that I cannot see? Because I know there are moments when I violate something too. Sometimes by accident, sometimes because I am distracted, sometimes because I am impatient, and sometimes if I am honest. I know exactly what I am doing, but I justify it because I believe my reason is good enough. That is the part that humbles me. It is easy to notice the danger in other drivers' behavior. It is harder to acknowledge the danger in my own. This is where mercy must also play a role. Law can identify the offense, but mercy is needed to reach the person. Law can show us what went wrong, but mercy reminds us that correction should not be absent of compassion. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. That does not erase responsibility. It does not remove the need for order, obedience, or consequence. But it reminds me that the same mercy I may need on the road is the same mercy I should be willing to extend to someone else. Imagine a person having a stroke while driving. Their vehicle begins to move erratically. They drift between lanes, miss signals, and endanger everyone around them. From the outside, it may look like rebellion. It may look like carelessness. It may look like someone refusing to obey the rules of the road. But another driver sees something deeper. They recognize that this is not merely a person breaking the law. This is a person in distress. And in that moment, love may have to move quickly. Someone may have to block a lane, stop traffic, or step into harm's way, not because the law has no value, but because life is now at stake. This is where mercy does not destroy the law. Mercy reaches for the purpose behind it. The law was given to preserve life, but mercy may have to move when life is collapsing. Grace may have to step into danger when obedience alone does not know how to respond. And maybe this is where the deeper command begins to speak. Not just did you follow the rule, but did you love your neighbor when their life was in danger? I do not believe grace should be treated as permission to drive recklessly. I do not believe mercy means we remove the signs, ignore the lanes, or pretend red lights no longer matter. That kind of thinking creates danger. But I also do not believe obedience should make us blind to distress. Sometimes a person is not drifting because they hate the road. Sometimes they are drifting because something is happening inside the vehicle that we cannot see. Sometimes they are wounded. Sometimes they are afraid. Sometimes they are immature. Sometimes they are confused. Sometimes they are still learning how to handle what has been entrusted to them. That does not mean every action is excused, but it does mean every person should be handled with care. The road requires laws, but the driver requires mercy. And maybe that is where grace and obedience meet. Grace does not cancel the road. Grace teaches us how to stay on it. Obedience helps us prevent harm, but mercy helps restore the one who has caused harm or the one who is caught in it. So maybe the question is not only, are people obeying the rules? Maybe the deeper question is, do we understand why the instructions were given? Because if the purpose of the command is love, then obedience without love becomes cold. And if grace has no obedience, it becomes careless. But when grace, mercy, love, and obedience are working together, the road becomes safer for everyone. I do not want to defend grace in a way that excuses rebellion, but I also do not want to defend obedience in a way that forgets mercy. I do not want to correct another driver and forget that I am still behind the wheel too. The road is full of people at different stages, in different vehicles, carrying different weights, and moving with different levels of understanding. Some need correction, some need warning, some need patience, some need rescue, and all of us need mercy. Maybe the goal is not to drive without ever needing grace. Maybe the goal is to become the kind of driver who obeys with humility, corrects with love, and remembers mercy before reaching for judgment. Because the law may show us where the lines are, but love teaches us why the lines matter. And mercy reminds us that the person in the other vehicle is not just a violator, they are a soul.